All right, imagine a place that is practically a living, breathing contradiction. Today, we're diving into Barabanki, a district right in the central Awadh region of Uttar Pradesh. Now, what's really incredible about Barabanki is that it sits just 29 kilometers away from the hustle and bustle of Lucknow, but somehow it totally retains this distinctly rural, deeply historic character. It acts as both the geographic and the cultural gateway to Provençal. It's this fascinating place that literally bridges modern development with an ancient landscape full of history, myth, and honestly, a really beautiful sense of harmony.
To truly grasp the vibe of Barabanki, you've got to hear these words, Jo Rab Hai Wahi Ram Hai, which means, he who is God is also Ram. This powerful idea of unity comes from a renowned 19th century Sufi saint, Haji Waris Ali Shah, and it's not just some dusty historical footnote either. This is a lived, breathing philosophy that brings millions of Hindus and Muslims together in Barabanki every single year. It just proves that coexistence is woven right into the DNA of the region.
So, here is our roadmap for this explainer, to help us unpack how this 3,891 square kilometer district manages to hold all this history together. We'll be looking at the gateway to Provençal, myths, kings, and mutinies; Dewar Sharif, the spiritual heart; Three Rivers, Three Zones, the Mint and Opium Hub; and finally, the Champions of Barabanki. Let's just jump right in, shall we?
Starting off with Section 1, the gateway to Provençal, bridging Lucknow in the east.
As a true gateway, even the district's name reflects a crossroads of different ideas. Falling under the Ayodhya division, it was officially named Barabanki back in 1859. The British actually relocated the headquarters here from Daryabad, and they chose the name Barabanki over the local town name Nawabganj just to avoid administrative confusion with other places. But where did the name actually come from? Well, there are two competing theories. The first one suggests it comes from the reincarnation of Bhagavan Bara, making it Bara plus Banki. The second theory is purely geographical, pointing to the 12, or Bara, bends of the mighty Gagra River that snakes right through the region. Either way, both theories perfectly capture the district's seamless blend of local myth and raw nature.
Moving on to Section 2, Myths, Kings, and Mutinies, a sweep of history.
The historical timeline of Barabanki is absolutely massive. We're talking roots that go all the way back to the Suryavanshi kings of Ayodhya, where Guru Vashisht actually taught the royal princes at an ashram in present-day Satrak. It was later part of the Chandravanshi king's Gaurav Raja, known as Kurukshetra. During the Mahabharata era, the Pandavas spent part of their exile right here on the banks of the Kaga River. And fast forward a bit to modern history, after the British annexed Oudh in 1856, Barabanki became a fierce, hotbed center of rebellion. In December 1858, the very last battle of the First War of Indian Independence was fought right here, marked by the incredible sacrifice of Raja Balbhadra Singh Chelari and 1,000 revolutionaries. Decades later, that same revolutionary spirit was still burning just as bright during the daring October 1942 Barabanki outpost bomb case in the Quit India movement.
Anchoring all of that ancient history is the Mahadeva Temple. According to local legend, the Pandavas performed a Mahayagya here after the Great Battle. The temple features the Pandav Koop, which is an ancient well believed to hold spiritual healing waters. But here is where it gets really interesting. There's an incredibly unique demographic anomaly here. During the massive Mahashivratri fair held at this temple, literally millions of devotees gather. Yet by deep-rooted, long-standing tradition, there is not a single woman devotee present. It's a stunning example of how hyper-specific ancient traditions are just preserved untouched in the modern era.
All right, Section 3, Dewar Sharif, the spiritual heart, the Warsi order of Sufism.
Let's circle back to Haji Waris Ali Shah, who was born in Dewa in 1817. A descendant of Imam Hussein, his followers are super easy to recognize by their distinct yellow or saffron robes, which symbolize renunciation. But what makes Haji Waris Ali Shah truly mind-blowing is the sheer international reach he had for a 19th century saint. He was actually the first Sufi Darvish to cross the seas to Europe. He was a guest of Prince Bismarck in Berlin, met the Sultan of Constantinople, and even hosted a Spanish noble named Count Galarraza, who traveled all the way to Awaj just to see him. He also uniquely attracted the English-knowing class. He literally took a localized message of universal love and broadcast it to the entire world.
And you know, that global legacy didn't just fade away. It is still pulsing through the district today. Every October and November, the magnificent white marble Dargah Dewa Sharif hosts the Dewa Mela. It's this 10-day spectacular featuring an all-India mushaira, sports like hockey and athletics, and a huge cattle market. Pilgrims regularly cross borders from Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia to stand shoulder to shoulder with local Hindus and Muslims, honoring a saint who saw absolutely no division between them. It's a powerful annual reminder that unity isn't just an ideal here, it's a lived reality.
Which brings us to Section 4, 3 Rivers, 3 Zones, the Rule of 3. Geographically speaking, Barabanki operates on a very strict Rule of 3. The district is perfectly partitioned into 3 distinct natural belts, and they're fed by 3 major rivers for the majority of the year. You've got the mighty Gagra forming the Tarai region up on the northern boundary. Through the middle, the Gomti River creates the Gomti Par region, and down in the south, the Kalyani River and its tributaries shape the Harni region. This precise natural irrigation system is the undeniable engine of Barabanki's entire livelihood.
And that segues perfectly into Section 5, the Mint and Opium Hub, Agriculture and Economy.
Thanks to those rivers, the canals, and a ton of private tube wells, a massive 84.2% of the district's area is irrigated. That is well above the state average. Farmers practice high-intensity subsistence agriculture here, sometimes rotating up to 5 crops a single year. Now, while they grow a wide variety of things, cereals absolutely dominate the footprint. Paddy comes in at 34.4% and wheat at 31.3%, meaning they take up nearly 70% of all cropped land.
But if you step outside those standard cereal crops, you find something entirely different. Barabanki is actually a historic, highly regulated hub for opium production. It's a fascinating legacy that stretches all the way back to British rule. The district houses the Afim Kothi, which serves as the central base for the only district opium officer in the entire state of Uttar Pradesh. Thousands of farmers cultivate opium here, but it is strictly licensed and heavily regulated by the central government exclusively for medicinal and pharmaceutical use. It's a pretty stark contrast to everyday subsistence farming, right?
And the diversity doesn't stop at medicine. Adding to this incredibly unique agricultural portfolio is mentha, or mint. Back in 1982, capitalizing on those fertile alluvial soils, Barabanki experienced a massive Japanese mint boom. Today, it stands proudly as UP's mentha oil capital. And beyond just what's grown in the dirt, the district's artisanal heritage shines through its handloom cotton and silk textiles, which are officially recognized under the government's One District, One Product, or ODOP scheme. Now, I want you to consider the number 2. 2 megawatts to be exact. Why is that important? Well, because it represents a massive leap forward. In May 2012, Uttar Pradesh inaugurated its very first solar power plant project, and it was built right here in Barabanki, in Sandali village. It's a prime example of this deeply historic agrarian district quietly leading the charge into modern renewable energy. It just goes to show that holding on to the past doesn't mean ignoring the future.
Finally, Section 6, Champions of Barabanki, Shaping Modern Identity.
Barabanki is a designated minority-concentrated district, boasting a population of over 3.2 million and a literacy rate of 61.75%. This diverse background has built a real legacy of modern icons. We see political heavyweights like Masina Kidway, a Rajya Sabha member who briefly served as the Chief Minister of UP in 1984. Over in sports, the district gave us Padma Shri awardee Kunwar Digvijay Singh, a truly legendary field hockey player. And more recently, Atul Varma, a boy from Barabanki who made national history by winning India's very first Olympic archery bronze medal at the 2014 Youth Olympic Games in Nanjing. These are individuals who literally took the spirit of Barabanki to the national and global stage.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to consider this profound duality. Barabanki holds so firmly onto its ancient myths, while simultaneously and aggressively cultivating its future. From the untouched traditions of the Mahadeva temple to the very first solar panels in Sandoli, and from the universal love preached at Dewa Sharif to the heavily regulated opium fields, the contrasts here are just striking. How does a district balancing such ancient spiritual harmony with vital modern agriculture continue to shape the broader identity of Uttar Pradesh? It's a question worth exploring, and it proves exactly why Barabanki remains the true, enduring gateway to Pravancha.